Good evening, this is SNE Weather. This is Josh here. I just want to give you guys an update on the storm that's going to begin overnight, Monday night, Tuesday morning. Currently, I have up for you the European computer model, 42 hours out, showing snows beginning to come into the area. Tuesday morning, going into Tuesday afternoon, showing a little bit of a change. Let's get that back. Showing a little bit of a changeover coming around these parts here. Then see the change. You can see that changeover starting moving out over towards the Cape area. It doesn't look like it tries to get into the Cape too much, and then eventually moving out. All right, so let's break this down real quickly. I do have questions about this changeover line. Sorry about that again. This right here is depicting a lot of icing possibly taking place. I'm very questionable whether this is going to be an icing event or not. I actually question to the point of, will there even be any ice at all, even though, this model has been showing this. So let's take a look at the 700 millibars. We'll do exactly what we did yesterday. We're going to go through the different lows of the atmosphere. So here we go with the changeover at hour 54, 700 millibars. You can see it definitely starts warming up a little bit. I would say the freezing line is pretty much cutting right through Long Island. It's probably doing something along like this. It's probably sitting just like that. That's probably most likely your 32 degree or above right in this area. So at 700 millibars, we can honestly say, it's going to be freezing. So let's go to 850 millibars at hour 54. This one's saying a little bit differently. You can see right here that it's right around freezing, going right through here, right through the heart of Connecticut, right through northern Rhode Island, and I would say go right into the Plymouth area. It looks like in and you can even see right here, you got 1 degree Celsius is right in this area. You got 5 degrees Celsius right in this area. So it's almost like it's warming up in this part of the atmosphere. So when the liquid that's coming down, it's going to be frozen out of 700 millibar level of the atmosphere. When it falls into the 850 millibar area, like pretty much a line from like here, cutting right through, anything south of this line, it's melting. So now we're in liquid form, and that is going to be the form of rain. Now let's go to the now that level, it falls into the 925 millibar level. And just to refresh, that is hour 54. And at 54, what do we see? Look, that freezing line is like right here. Like I would say the only one that's going to be, above freezing is probably Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard for our general area. Anything north of this line, everybody here is below freezing. So if you got liquid falling into a 925 millibar level of the atmosphere, 850 falling into the 925 area of the atmosphere, you can bet that that's going to freeze. And it's cold. Like this is some pretty decent cold too. Look, you got 2 Celsius right in pretty much right around these areas, and so my thinking right now is that at hour 54, and if you look at, let's get this back up, it's showing rain. It's showing freezing rain. Like that, this orange right here, just to show, give you a quick depiction of that orange is sleet. It's saying it's not going to be free. That's the only area saying not freezing rain. That's the only area that says it's going to be sleet. So let's go back at 1 second. Let me get this fixed. hour 54 here, this is 9:25. Now let's go look at the surface. What does the surface look like at this hour, at hour 54? And currently, right now, I would say the freezing line is probably right in this general area. You know, anybody on this side of the map, of that line, is not going to be freezing. So my thinking is that this is more than likely going to be sleet at hour 54. So let's go to hour 60, and you can see right here that there is a changeover taking place back over to snow. Boston Providence would be in that area of that changeover line, just coming sweeping right through. But let's take a look at the what's this one? Is this 850? 1 second. At hour 60, yeah, this is the 850 millibar, and you know, right here you can also see that you know, the freezing line is pretty much right in that general vicinity. Let's go to the 925 at hour 60, and you can see it just as frozen. Actually, let's just go through the whole 925 of this whole storm. You know, just this is the surface, what it would look like. So backside of the snow coming through. So hour 72, it's exiting, and hour 78 is a little bit of leftover out for the Cape and the out towards the canal up to Boston, and then hour 84 it's out. And maybe a little bit of ocean effect taking place out in the Cape area. So let's go all the way up to hour 72 at the 925 millibar level. And you can see, you know, I'm sorry, but is it just me, or am I seeing nobody goes above freezing at this level of the atmosphere? So it's making me think that it's a very good possibility that everybody sees sleet and there's no change over to rain. But this is also the European computer model saying this. You know, it's only just one model suggesting this possibility. You know, it's a very interesting scenario. Here is the freezing rain map from the Euro, and you can see it's really backed off since yesterday of what the freezing rain was going to be like. If you look at the sleet map, there's not much sleet, just a little spot thing there. I think this is a little bit off for that on that matter. So here's the European, not the European. This is the NOM 3KM, and right around 2 o'clock in the morning, showing it starting to move into the area. And it comes in, and you know, the NOM is very interesting. It's kind of almost going with my thoughts of, you know, almost nobody changing over. Let's take a look. Here's the 850 millibar level of the atmosphere, and you know, at 850 you can see there's some changeover that does take place. You can see the freezing line gets up pretty much over here. So it would definitely be some type of liquid here. Get that back. So that's at hour 45. And if we look at hour 45 at 925, you know, it's close. It's really close in these areas pretty much. It's really close right around here. You know, everybody's at freezing or just below freezing, and you can even see like even parts of Long Island still below freezing at this level of the atmosphere. Get that fixed. There we go. So it's an interesting scenario that's going to be taking place, and just to see at 45, it's showing freezing rain, and you know, that's definitely a strong possibility. See, 850, let's go 925. All right, so you know, it just briefly touches the freezing mark, gets very close, but it doesn't do much. So it's an interesting scenario, and the surface temperatures during this time, most stay below freezing, except for those areas that I marked out with the Euro. You know, probably pretty much just south and east of Boston to Providence is going to be above freezing, and everybody else will be below freezing as well. One other thing I wanted to show you, and I thought this was an interesting feature, bring it back to hour 37. Actually, we'll go even further back. We'll go to about hour, let's see. We'll go into hour 32. All right, so hour 32, here we go. Hour 32. All right, so I bring you back to this because you see here, it's trying to come in, right? And when I see like little broken features like this, sorry, I forgot to highlight my pencil. Like little broken features like that, it makes me think that there's some dry air trying to come into the area. So I think these models are not handling this part of the storm that well, and I'll show you why. I'm going to go to use the 850 millibar level of the atmosphere, and as the storm moves in, you're going to notice something, and I'm sure some of you might see it, some of you may not, but keep an eye out. Whoop, let's go back, sorry. I got to hurry up because I'm almost out of time. No. Gotta shut that down a little bit. All right. Notice this feature right here. This is an interesting feature. This is something you normally would see if there was a heavy band of snow, like almost if there was a thump that takes place as a leading edge of snow comes in. Now, whether or not that is the case here remains to be seen. And when I'll go back, keep bringing, look, you can see how it forms over here in Connecticut. I'll highlight that for you right here. You can see it starting to form right there in Connecticut, right? And then it just, look, see how it grows in intensity and it comes up. And watch what happens as soon as it hits New Hampshire. It starts breaking up. I really think that it could be the leading edge of snow. Even though this is saying at hour 35 that there's no snow in the area, it's possible that is the case. And then, like I said, this is 850. I'll even show it to you on, here's the 935. You can see the same feature. And I think that's going to be the leading edge of snow right there. It's just a thump. And then, look at this. Ready? Look at the temps. See how it goes? Bam. It just starts coming up. It's almost like a frontal system in a sense. And you can actually see it really well right here, and you can actually see it in the coast, off the coast too. The coastal waters there. And it almost looks like there's a thump. See? And it even shifts outward too. It's possible it's hitting up against some drier air, some warmer moist air, and it's just, just kind of hitting each other right there. So I would say tomorrow evening should be good. However, I will say that Tuesday morning is not going to be fun if you have to drive, and I highly advise not to drive because as chances are it's going to be snow and sleet for the duration of this storm. There's still the chance of a changeover, but I'll have an update on this storm sometime during the morning tomorrow morning, just to see if the models have fixed a few things, because like I said, I really think that could be the leading edge of snow, but we'll see what happens. This is Josh, SNE Weather. Everybody have a wonderful evening. One last thing I just almost forgot. I am going to be doing a second video about next weekend. All right. Everybody have a great night.